Today I'm going to be doing the 2020 Senate predictions again. It hasn't been a month, but it's been almost a month. More like 20 days, that's not almost a month. But, I'm trying to use, so as you've seen, I've been using two different maps. The reason why I'm currently using this one is because it has a tilt, and until the other one adds a tilt, I'm going to be using this one because the tilt just makes it easier to show close races. Anyways, I'm just gonna start off with the safe states. Uh, I can't exactly remember what I put the states as last time. Not New Hampshire. But it doesn't really matter because it doesn't really matter. Um, sorry. Alabama is not safe. I might have put it safe last time on accident, but it is not safe for the Republican Party. Um, and yeah, okay. Let's start with the likely states for each party. So likely for the Democrats are Minnesota and Virginia, possibly Colorado. But I'm actually gonna put that in the lead. The reason why Minnesota, Tina Smith just won re-election, but it wasn't really re-election. She won the election. She was appointed after Al Franken got, after he resigned. Um, anyways, she just won by around like 10% in a special election there in 2018. So I'd put that in likely. And Virginia because the incumbent is very popular. He has a very good approval rating, and he barely won it in 20 it would be 2014, which was a red wave year. So now for likely states for Republicans, Montana, Texas, and Kentucky. Reason for Montana is because if the current governor runs, which I got informed that he can't run for the governorship, so now that's not going to be in the Democrat column whenever I do a governor map, which I'll probably do after this. It's likely because if he runs, he can make it competitive. Texas, it's becoming more of a Democratic state. If Ted Cruz was up for election, which he isn't, it would be much closer because the current incumbent is not as disapproved. But I think Democrats have a very, very small shot if they can get a good candidate, but it's still a very small shot. And Kentucky, uh, the current incumbent senator there that's up for re-election is Mitch McConnell. He's the Senate Majority Leader, and he's very unpopular in his state. But it's Kentucky, and it's usually not that competitive. Uh, I mean, it is actually, but not really in presidential elections. And I feel like if Democrats put up a good candidate, which they did in 2014, but they got edged out by like I don't exactly know what the margins were, but even during a red wave, they made Kentucky competitive. So I think they can make it competitive in a. We don't really know if it's going to be a wave year yet for either party, but anyways, moving on to the lean states. For lean for the Democrats is Michigan and New Hampshire and Colorado. Reason for Michigan is the incumbent is not really well known there, but I feel like if he gets his name more out there, he would have a better shot at winning, which come election day, he'll probably be much more well known. Uh, and it really just depends on who the actual presidential candidate is for 2020 for the Democrats, because usually, not always, but usually if the like uh on the presidential race, if a Democrat wins in Georgia, if there is a Senate race there, it's most likely that that's also going to go to the Democrats. It's not 100% chance, but it is most likely. Um, and in Michigan, I just feel like it's it was just like a one-time thing in 2016 to go to Trump, and he's like super disapproved there. I think it's minus 15%. It's really not good for him. Moving on to New Hampshire, Donald Trump is disapproved by 18% here. That's really bad for a swing state. That's like he's disapproved here more than I think. Um, he's disapproved in New Hampshire more than I think it is Delaware. Yeah, Delaware, and that's really bad for a swing state. Um, and on to Colorado. It's becoming more of a Democratic state. It's been going to Democrats ever since 2008, and Democrats are they're doing really well here. They kept the governorship, they flipped a House seat, and there was no Senate seat open for 2018, but they're doing much better here than they have in past history. Um, and moving on to lean for the Republicans, Alabama is lean because the incumbent senator won. The Democratic incumbent senator won because he had a very bad candidate, and I think Republicans aren't going to put up a bad candidate again because they know that they're going to lose with them. Um, in not Iowa, in actually I don't know about Iowa. I'm not gonna put Iowa anywhere yet. That's all I have for lean for the Republicans. Oh wait, actually Georgia. Georgia's also one of those states that is becoming more Democratic or more competitive. It's not a Democratic state yet, but Democrats almost won in 2018 in a wave year in the governor race, but they didn't win. I feel like they definitely could win, but it's not in their favor. In Maine, this one is a hard one. I'm just gonna move on to the tilt ones. So tilt for Democrats are Arizona. So basically, what happened here in 2018 is there was the Democrat and the Republican that were running. The Democrat won by like a 2% margin. The Republican got appointed to the Senate seat there because John McCain died. So the Republican opponent is now the senator there without winning an election. Uh, and I don't feel like it's a good like she might run again, but she lost last year, so that's not good for her. It depends on if the Democrats put on a good candidate, but I feel like because she lost in 2018, I feel like she definitely has a shot here. But it really just depends on who the Democrats run. Um, Another tall state for the Democrats is Maine. So Susan Collins is currently after the Kavanaugh vote. Her disapproval rating spiked, and she's net disapproved of I can't remember the exact number, but she's disapproved of like yeah, she's disapproved of, and I feel like she's been the center for Maine for she's I think it was I'm not exactly sure. I think it's to that. I actually don't know when she. I'm just gonna stop talking about it. Anyways, she's net disapproved in here, and I feel like if the Democrats put up a good candidate, then they do have a shot there. Um, the hardest ones are Iowa and North Carolina. So North Carolina has a history of every Senate, like like this Senate cycle, it has a history of flipping who the incumbent is. Like the incumbent like never wins here. It's really weird for the Senate seat. Last in 2014, the Republican beat the incumbent Democrat, and I think the year before that the same thing happened, but the other way around. Um, so in I think in Iowa I have to put it tilt Republican because Democrats have been making this more competitive ever since 2016 when Donald Trump won it by like 9%, which is insane for a swing state like Iowa. I feel like if Donald Trump campaigns here for the Republicans, they can definitely win. And the Republicans won here on the governorship in 2018, and I feel like this would be one of the most competitive states, and it depends on who the Democrats put up. And in North Carolina, I am going to leave that in the toss-up column. I really can't make up my mind on who it would go to. and I guess I have to choose who the vice president would be. To me, it's most likely that a Democrat is in power in 2020. Does not mean that I'm saying that they will. I'm saying that just by chances, a Democrat will probably be in the White House after 2020. Um, anyways, I'm gonna end this video here. Uh, if you liked it, leave a like. So, yeah, I don't know how to end it, so I'm just gonna end it. So, bye.